I hate watching England play. Sometimes I really, really do. They're so boring and defense minded and they're constantly on the back foot. It's so dull to watch. And Southgate needs to really take accountability for the fact that we play some of the most boring football with some of the most exciting players. We've got world beaters in that team, some of the most exciting attacking minded players that we've seen in an England shirt ever. And we play some of the most boring football I have ever seen in my life. So we just beat Australia 1-0. Again, there's not really many other words to describe it. It was dull to watch. It was one of so defence minded, pass around the back, keep hold of the ball. Jack Grealish gets it on the left wing, tries to go inverted, pass back to the defenders. Trent will ping a long ball over the top. It'll get cleared. Someone in midfield will win it. Like Declan Rice, obviously, he didn't really play this game, but someone will win it back and then we'll pass it around to the defenders and then it'll go back to Sam Johnston and it was just rinse, repeat, dull, boring. There was nothing exciting. So just going to give my thoughts on the ratings of the overall team. There was a few standout performances despite the boredom that we all witnessed and boredom that they were a part of, to be honest. So just going to give my thoughts on everyone's score. I've got it on my screen, so I'm just going to be reading from them. Sam Johnston, out of 10, I give him a 7. He did quite well, actually, to be fair. The save from the deflected shot was Tamori, I think, headed on. Was outstanding. His distribution was good. He looked solid on the ball. His first appearance in 2 years, and he didn't look out of place really. I mean, he's at a Palace team where he's now in the starting lineup because Dean Henderson's injured. But you do think that if Dean Henderson was fit, he'd probably have taken this position over Sam Johnston. So he got lucky in a sense, but he's done well with it. Good result for him. A clean sheet. I think it was his fourth appearance along those lines for England. So overall, happy for him. Trent, I'm giving a. It's gonna seem biased. Give him an 8. I think defensively, he looked he looked good at times. I remember they tried to cross it a couple of times. He was able to get the block. He did play as that inverted fullback role, which we're used to at this point with Trent. It's just what his best position is, really. But some of the passes he makes, I tweeted it out saying it when he comes into midfield. He's England's best midfielder alongside Jude Bellingham. He's so good, and he picked out some world class passes. There was one he made to Jack Grealish right across the park, and Grealish controls it brilliantly. But Trent, for me, he's out of this world with his passing. Look good going forward. Look good defensively. Haven't really got any complaints. Tamori 6 out of 10. Looked shaky at times. Definitely finding his feet in this England team. He wasn't outstanding by any means, but he wasn't bad. I think he's getting back into the fold. He hasn't featured much for England. I think it was his fourth appearance for us or something daft like that. He should have been in a long time ago, but Southgate picks favourites. We know this. I thought, yeah, Tamori looked good. No major issues there. He looked solid. Lewis Dunk 7. The goal line clearance alone made up for any sort of negativity towards him. But I thought it looked great. Good in the air. Was able to track back and clear the ball off the line, imposing at the back. He took the ball and actually got forward a few times. He was great going forward, play that sort of Joel Matip role. And yes, they are going to be comparisons to Liverpool because that's all I really know. But no, he looked good. Happy that he's finally getting the minutes for England. Brighton, he's defensively haven't looked great. England do tend to play that defensive style of football, and maybe Dunk is the player to take that forward, get rid of certain other centre backs who just shouldn't be in the squad, which I'll go over tomorrow. Um, yeah, happy for Dunk, looked solid. Levi Colwell, uh, I feel bad for him because he's playing left back and he's not a left back. He's getting played in a position which just isn't comfortable to him, being just played in the wrong part of the pitch. And I just think if they utilise his strengths a bit more, he's a ball playing centre back at the moment for Chelsea, and that's just what he should be for England. And he gets the chance with this system that Southgate plays, but he's having to play left back at times, and it doesn't work. It's not what he's comfortable with. He's a centre back, out and out, quick, strong. Just looks uncomfortable. Didn't look bad, but definitely could have been better. Conor Gallagher was a 5. Just didn't look comfortable. at all. Some of the tackles he makes, some of the positions he finds himself in, he just I, I can't gather how a player like him, who just isn't performing, he's done okay for Chelsea. I think he's been captain a few times actually, but when Conor Gallagher is just because he's your best midfielder at the time for Chelsea doesn't mean he's good enough to get into the England squad. He just doesn't. He has energy. He runs. He'll commit to a tackle. That's brilliant. But the foul he got was stupid and dangerous. There was another one where he stomped on the defender's leg, trying to win the ball. We saw Curtis Jones get sent off for that a few weeks ago. Gallagher does it here, and I'm not saying I wanted him sent off, but it was dangerous, absolutely dangerous, and he's still on the pitch. Some of the tackles were gung ho. He's other than energy, he doesn't really offer anything going forward, going back. He's not bad, but again, it's just a baffling decision. Um, Jordan Henderson actually got booed when he came off the pitch, which was a bit of a surprise. Maybe it's the political issues going on at the moment. Who knows? It might just also be that he was pretty bad, to be honest. But he's I think Southgate enjoys having him because Southgate's mindset is I want to keep the ball, I want to pass it back to the defence, and that's what Henderson does. Great, he keeps the ball. He's always been good at doing that, but he's so negative in his passing approach, which he got criticism for at Liverpool, that Southgate likes that. He likes that kind of player who's going to pass it back to the defenders. So Henderson fits that role perfectly, actually. And in this game, just more of it. Any long balls he did were just across the pitch to other players out wide. And eventually it'd go back anyway. Just nothing from him. Just he kept the ball moving. That was it. He was just a spare part, really, in the midfield. Nothing to say other than that. Jarrod Bowen looked fantastic. He did fade, but he had a chance to score. Uh, Header, I think, from a corner coming in. He had another header which went over the bar. He looked good, and I remember the chance that we had to score in the first half, the first major opportunity. He's the one who crossed the ball, or put the ball through for the player that crossed it. He looked great. He looked really good at times. Did fade, as I said, and he definitely does a lot of work. His first cap in over a year, but he's a great option to have. He's been brilliant for West Ham so far this season. He's always been good for West Ham. It's just good to see him in the team. Maddison 6 again. That shot he had, which went way wide, was dreadful. Let's face it, it was not a good shot. He looked at times. He knew what he wanted to do, but there was no player to give the ball to. There was no one who was really putting himself out there for those crosses or opportunities to go to him. If you had someone like Harry Kane or just for argument's sake, Callum Wilson or Raheem Sterling, someone who's going to create space for themselves up front, he would have played better, but he didn't really have that chance. The through balls to Ollie Watkins were good, but Grealish was doing that as well, and Grealish was also going to get a 6. Got his assist with an effort. Flashed across the face of goal. Brilliant. He's the issue I have with Grealish is he's another negative-minded player at times where he wants to get forward, but he'll just dribble around the box, go inverted, and pass the ball backwards. That's just how he is. He's that type of player. Pep wants him to do that. He's not gonna score bags of goals. He's not gonna get loads of assists, but he's good on the ball and he's good at sort of distributing it around across the park to other players. Again, nothing bad, nothing great. And Ollie Watkins, 7, got the goal, consecutive goals, and that's 363 days apart. Great finish, put himself into the right position, and for the first attempt, he was in the right position, it just went through his legs. Definitely made himself a nuisance. Again, he deserves to be playing. Ollie Watkins definitely deserves to have the opportunity to be in that squad, especially with we have Kane and we have Eddie Nketiah, who arguably shouldn't be in the squad. Ollie Watkins should be the second choice, competing with Callum Wilson, I think, for that position. Eddie Nketiah shouldn't be in the team, and Kane can't play every single game. It's just not going to happen. Yeah, that's overall just my thoughts on the player ratings. Pretty disappointed by England standards, Australia were there for the taking. They really were, and it just didn't. We we slacked at times majorly, and we just didn't look good on the ball. The this whole keep the ball, keep possession thing is great, but unless you execute it correctly and create opportunities for the players up front, nothing happens, and it's just boring to watch. You're going to pass the ball out wide, it's going to go back. You're going to put a through ball through. Ooh, it looks amazing, but nothing comes of it, and there's no point. Southgate's time might well be up, and that's a different topic coming up with the Italy game coming up. We've had chances. We've reached the World Cup semi-final against a Croatia team that were good but weren't outstanding. Italy in that final at Wembley, we should have beat them. Southgate is just so negative in his approach, and something needs to change because we're getting these results, and it's great grinding out wins. But when you have players this exciting, it's a waste of their talent. And unless we're winning tournaments, there's no point doing it. If we were winning the World Cup, winning the Euros, or the Nations League even, and playing this football, fine. But we're not. We're playing this football, getting to the end line, and just not doing it. And it needs to change.